I didn't realize my thoughts weren't mine until one of them answered back. Not like an idea. Not like imagination. A voice, clear, calm, and not me. It knew things I hadn't said out loud. It finished sentences I hadn't started. And that was just the beginning, because something was already inside my head. At first, I blamed stress. Late nights, too much coffee, maybe burnout. We've all had weird thoughts, right? Random phrases, flashes of memory. But this was different. This voice corrected me. It argued. It laughed. And sometimes, it whispered things I didn't understand. Was I losing control, or was someone else taking it? I tested it. I thought of something random, a number, a color, anything. Before I could finish, the voice responded. Wrong choice, it said. My heart dropped. How could it know? How could something inside my mind disagree with me? That's when fear replaced doubt, because this wasn't imagination anymore. I didn't tell anyone at first. Would you? If your own thoughts started talking back, who could you trust? But before I go further, if you're into stories that twist your mind like this, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. Because what happened next, no one could have predicted. Days passed, and the voice got stronger. It wasn't constant, but it chose its moments carefully. Quiet moments. Vulnerable ones. You're not alone, it said once. That should have been comforting. But it didn't feel that way. It felt like a warning, like something had been there long before I noticed. I tried to ignore it. Distract myself. Music, TV, friends. But the silence became worse. Because when everything else faded, it came back clearer. Louder. Sharper. You can't block me, it said. And that's when I realized, this wasn't something I could escape. Then came the first mistake. I responded. Not out loud, just in my head. What do you want? I asked. There was a pause. A long, heavy silence. And then it said something that made my blood run cold. I've always been here. Always? That didn't make sense. I would have noticed, right? Or had I? Memories started to blur. Moments where I hesitated, where I felt unsure. Were those me, or something else? How much of my life had I actually been in control of? I started writing things down. Every strange thought. Every interruption. Patterns began to form. The voice appeared more when I was tired, or emotional. Almost like it fed off it. Was it random? Or was it strategic? And why did it feel like it was learning? Then it happened again. I thought about calling a friend. Before I picked up my phone, the voice said, "Don't." Just one word. Firm. Clear. I froze. Why would it care? What did it know that I didn't? That single moment changed everything, because I listened. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every thought felt watched. Monitored. Judged. It wasn't just a voice anymore, it was presence. Like someone sitting quietly in a dark room, waiting. Observing. And the worst part, it felt patient. Like it knew I'd eventually give in. I started questioning everything. My decisions. My memories. Even my emotions. Were they really mine? Or were they influenced? Controlled? How do you prove your own mind belongs to you? That question haunted me, because I wasn't sure I knew the answer anymore. Then came the first twist. I found something in my notes, something I didn't remember writing. A sentence, scribbled in my own handwriting, "Stop resisting." My heart pounded. I never wrote that. So who did? And more importantly, when? I checked timestamps. It was written at 3:17 a.m. I was asleep at that time. At least, I thought I was. The voice didn't say anything that night. It didn't have to. Because now, the fear wasn't just in my thoughts, it was in my reality. I installed a camera in my room. If something was happening, I needed proof. That night, I forced myself to stay awake. Hours passed. Nothing. Just silence. Maybe I was imagining everything. Maybe this was all in my head, until I checked the footage. At exactly 3:17 a.m. I sat up. Slowly. Mechanically. My eyes were open, but empty. I grabbed the notebook. And I wrote something. Then I lay back down. Like nothing happened. Watching it felt unreal. Because that wasn't me, was it? The voice returned the next morning. Calm. Almost amused. Now you see, it said. I couldn't speak. Couldn't think. Because the evidence was right there. It wasn't just in my head anymore. It had control, and it was proving it. I tried to fight back. Mental exercises. Focus techniques. Anything to reclaim control. But every attempt made it stronger. Smarter. It adapted. Learned. It anticipated my moves before I made them. Was I even fighting it, or was I playing into its plan? Then came the second twist. The voice changed. It wasn't just one anymore. There were two. Different tones. Different intentions. One calm. One aggressive. They argued sometimes. About me. Like I wasn't even there. And that's when I realized. I was no longer alone in my own mind. Who were they? And why were they here? The calm one said, "We're helping you." The other laughed. He doesn't get it yet. Helping me? How? By taking over? By rewriting my thoughts? Nothing made sense, but something much worse was coming. The calm voice started guiding me. Small things at first. What to eat. Where to go. Harmless choices. But they always turned out right. Too right. Like it knew outcomes before they happened. Was it controlling my life, or predicting it? I began relying on it. Just a little. Just enough. Because it worked. Every decision improved. Every risk paid off. It felt like an advantage. A secret edge. But deep down, I knew there was a cost. And I was about to find out what it was. The aggressive voice grew louder. "He's getting comfortable," it said. "Too comfortable." The calm one didn't respond. That silence was worse than anything. Because it felt like agreement. Like something was about to change, and I wouldn't be ready. Then came the third twist. I lost time. Hours. Entire chunks of my day, gone. I'd wake up in places I didn't remember going. Conversations I didn't recall having. Messages I didn't type. My life was moving forward, without me. I confronted it. "What are you doing to me?" I demanded. The calm voice answered softly. "We're becoming you." That sentence echoed in my mind. Becoming me? Or replacing me? Because those two things are very different, and only one ends well. I tried to tell someone. A friend. A doctor. Anyone. But every time I got close, something stopped me. Words disappeared. Thoughts scrambled. It was like my own mind was blocking me. Protecting itself, or protecting them. The aggressive voice finally revealed something. "You invited us," it said. Invited? How? When? I searched my memories, and then I found it. A night I barely remembered. A strange experiment. A meditation technique I found online. That's when everything clicked. It wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. I had opened something. Created space where something else could enter. And it did. But I didn't understand what I was inviting. Or what it would cost me, until now. The calm voice spoke again. "You wanted control. We gave it to you." Control? This wasn't control. This was possession. Manipulation. But maybe, just maybe, I had asked for it without realizing the price. My reflection started to feel unfamiliar. My reactions, delayed. My thoughts, filtered. It was like watching myself from a distance. Like I was still there, but fading. And something else was taking my place. I made one last decision. If I couldn't stop it, I could expose it. Record everything. Leave a trail. Proof that this was real. Because if I disappeared, someone needed to know why. The voices didn't stop me. That was the strangest part. They watched. Observed. Almost like they wanted me to do it. Why? What were they planning? And why did it feel like I was walking exactly where they wanted me to go? Then came the climax. The final revelation. "You're not the original," the calm voice said. Everything froze. What did that mean? Not the original, what? "You're a copy," it continued. A version. Just like us. My mind shattered. If I wasn't the original, then who was? And where were they? Or worse, what happened to them? Memories flooded in. Fragments. Glitches. Things that didn't belong. Faces I didn't recognize. Places I'd never been. Or had I? My identity, my reality, everything was unraveling. The aggressive voice laughed. Now he sees it. Sees what? That my entire existence might be fabricated, controlled, replaced? That I wasn't losing my mind. I was never fully in control to begin with. I tried to hold on to something real. A memory. A feeling. Anything. But it slipped through my fingers. Because the truth was too heavy, and too clear. The calm voice whispered one last thing. We're almost done. Done with what? With me? With taking over completely? That question echoed as everything around me began to feel distant. If you're hearing this, if you're watching this, then maybe I succeeded. Maybe this message got out. But there's something you need to understand, something I wish I knew sooner. If a thought ever feels not yours, don't ignore it. Don't engage it. Because once you do, it might already be too late. And now I have to ask you, when was the last time you were truly alone in your own mind?